Good morning. Thanks for coming, and thanks for having us.
We're a little nervous.
No, I'm a lot of nervous.
So we're going to start. Let's start a little bit with your childhood. So how old were you when your mom first started leaving you alone with your baby sister?
I was 4 years old.
Yeah.
My sister was 2. I had to change my sister's diapers and feed her and clothe her and take her to nursery school. I had to cook and clean. If it wasn't done, I got beat. And basically, I was my sister's mother and father at 4.
I mean, you had an amazing relationship. Will you maybe tell us a little bit about, I know sometimes your sister, for example, had a bedwetting problem. And she would wake up crying and really scared.
Yeah, because she thought that my mother was going to beat her again, so I would run and tell her she's not here.
Right. And then what would you do? Yeah.
Clean the sheets by hand.
Yeah.
Clean the sheets by hand, and I started cooking for her. There's a lot of burning in the beginning, but I got the hang of it, and I took care of my baby sister.
Yeah, you did. You'd bring her to nursery school even, right? You'd walk her
Yeah.
there. Sometimes
Nursery
if they
school.
had breakfast in the morning, you guys would go before school, right?
I would have to go in before my teacher because my teacher would ask me why I'm not in school, and I would kept on telling her all types of different stuff, and she said, I want a letter from your mother, and then it got to the point where I would get there and they'd just feed her real quick and leave.
But you managed, right?
Yeah,
They
well,
managed.
it got to the point where I was happy she wasn't there because she was very physically abusive to me, mentally abusive to me. Cracked my skull like 3 times, broke my arm, cracked me here. One time she hit me with a metal brush in my face because I didn't want to clean. I had to clean, and I had to take care of my sister. So it got to the point where I got used to it. It got to the point where my sister didn't even look for her.
Right, she looked for you.
She looked for me for everything. I had to do everything for my sister. And my mother's boyfriend, she had 2 boyfriends. Basically, that's when the molestation started. I got raped by both of them. But I didn't care because I'd rather them do it to me than my little sister.
Right. You kept her safe.
I kept my baby sister safe. And I told my mom, it's like she didn't care because she was basically just using drugs and having like 6,000 boyfriends. 6,001. Yeah, but it got to the point where when I knew she was leaving, I would just make sure that the refrigerator was full and the food stamps were in there, and I would make a list and tell her we need this, that, and the other, and she'd be like, well, I'll be back in a little while. No, you won't. And we need that. And she would get it, and it got to the point where she got used to it. Yeah. So I was her maid. Yeah. I was her maid.
How old were you when you finally ran away, when you escaped?
Oof, I was 14 or 15 years old. 14 or 15 years old. Yeah. My sister got a little bit older, and
And where did you go? Right when you were
Covenant House.
Yeah.
42nd Street, and stood there for a while. Had little problems in there, so they made a floor in Covenant House. It was the 3rd floor, and they called it the gay floor because we were having a lot of problems with the heterosexual kids in there and stuff like that. And I stood there for a while, and that's where my drugs progressed. You see, I started using drugs because I used to find my mother's marijuana on the top of her closet, so I used to see that it made her happy. So I used to smoke a little bit, and I was able to cook and clean and do everything for my sister, and it got to a point where I would be aggravated sometimes, and my little sister knew that made me happy, and she would crawl on top of the closet and bring me the little box and put it right there. And I was saying, why are you doing that? And she would say, because I'm hungry, and I want you to take me to the park. So that's what that was. That was the happy box, but my drugs, it progressed.
Right, by the time you were 18.
By the time I was 18, I had like 2 sugar daddies. I owned a co-op with one, and the other one, I was going all over the place. It was just some fast money.
Yeah, and your addiction at this point was?
It was for marijuana. It went to sniffing cocaine because they had all of that.
Right.
And mind you, they were school teachers. And they had all of that stuff.
And then eventually...
It was crack cocaine.
Right, and then eventually where were you living?
Wow, after I cleaned out both their bank accounts and took both of their cars to the chop shop, I ended up living on the piers. The piers, there was like a little shanty town there, and all the gay people lived on the pier. Now, mind you, I'm not transgendered, but it was easier to put on a wig and some heels to make the money for my drugs. And it was only drugs. All my money went on drugs. I did not want to spend money on food, so I dug in garbage cans to eat. I fought with rats for the donuts.
And then you get sick, right?
And I would get sick, but I didn't care. We knew why it happened.
You got it.
You got what I'm saying?
Name tag there. We're good.
We knew why it happened, or whatever the case may be. And
it's okay. No, don't touch. There we go.
When they broke that down, I moved uptown. Now down here, I was down here for 7 years. Uptown,
let's go to the part where you end up under the bridge.
This is what I'm saying.
Okay, sorry, go for it. I'm sorry. Sorry.
I was getting there, girl.
I know. Girl.
I know we have a time limit.
Girl.
Okay, so we end up uptown. I end up uptown under the 3rd Avenue Bridge. Okay, now I'm telling you, I was here, downtown, in the meat market area for 7 years. Now I'm telling you, I was uptown for 20 years. So what does that mean? I was homeless for 27 years. Yeah. For 27 years.
Tell us a day in the life.
Oh, day in the life.
Yeah, when you're under the bridge, you wake up in the morning.
Okay, this was a day in the life of Enrique Keynote. Wake up in the morning, get up, look at everybody. I can't take this. Move out, go to Salvation Army, steal clothes from them. Go to the pharmacy, steal the gel. You have to steal the gel, the soap, all that, then the razors, and go to the Metro North on 125th Street. Go into the bathroom, looking like this horrible individual, like I was a serial killer or something like that. Go in, I would pull the garbage can, put the mirror, pour all the water on top of me, soap, and start. We called it shit, shower, and shave, excuse my language. By the time I finished there, I would put all the clean clothes and everything on the gel and everything. With the dirty clothes, I would wash, clean everything out, the mirror and everything. And when I would walk out, you see other people on the line, they'd be like, listen, there's somebody else in there with you, right? I said, no. There were homeless man went up in there, and that's me. I'm the homeless guy. So they were like amazed. So then I would sit down next to everybody else that was homeless, my homeboys. The police would make them all move and not say nothing to me. So basically, that's how I was surviving.
Yeah.
You got what I'm saying? I was surviving. But the only reason I was doing it like that was because I couldn't catch a client to get my drugs if I looked all busted. So that's all I was doing it for.
Until one day, do you remember when you got a knock on that cardboard door?
Oh my God, I had a little cardboard house. And somebody knocked on my little cardboard door. And I opened it. And it was a tall man, we're just gonna leave it like that, bald-headed, and 2 small little ladies. And I said, I'm gonna go to jail for trespassing. I said, no, you're not. I said, so who are you? They said, we are CUCS, Center for Urban Community Services. I said, okay, I'm not going to a detox. I'm not going to a 28-day program. I don't want to pray to God right now. In order for you to be able to talk to me, and then we could talk about getting me somewhere to go. They said, we don't work like that, boo-boo. How long have you been homeless? I said, I've been homeless 27 years. They said, you so qualify. Take this,
what was it, like a form or something?
No, take this referral.
Oh.
Go to St. Mary's Church. We used to call it the Red Door. It was on 126th Street. So CUCS had that as a drop-in center. So we was feeling fabulous. Like every day we would shit, shower, and shave over there, lay down on the couches, eat, munch out. We would change our clothes. They would give us Metro cards. we started getting our mail there. They got me my social security card, my birth certificate. They were just so adamant about getting me my spot. But one day they were supposed to come to see me for the last time so they could put me on the budget and they could get me out. And they didn't make it. And Enrique was just under the bridge saying, they played us again. The fucking city played us again. Yeah, they got what they wanted out of us and they played us one more time. So I had like a nervous breakdown, 911, ambulance, boom, back to North General Hospital where the doctor looked at me and said, Enrique, back again for another little week stay. Okay. So I explained to him everything. He said, really? Got in contact from the people at CUCS. They said, do not release him. We'll be there Friday. His room is there. I didn't believe it. But they all came and they got me and they took me all the way to the Salvation Army on 135th, brought me up there, and put the key in my hand and told me I wasn't gonna have to sleep in the street no more. I opened the door. Now, mind you, I just came out of a cardboard box. So when I opened the door, they said, you know, it's kind of small and da-da-da, and I looked at them and I said, this is the Marriott Marquis Hotel for me right about now. So I stood there for a week. At that time, they used to call that just a stabilization room. Right. It was not transition. They said it's a transition now. Anyway, and after a week, they said, Enrique, you have to leave. You can't be here. And I said, where am I going to go? They said, well, everybody that we got from under the bridge, we have in this spot. And I said, that's where I'm not going. I want to be around those people.
Well, where did you end up? Where did
they ended up taking me to a safe haven place on 86th Street, around the corner from Goddard Riverside Community Center, something like that.
And then eventually, they brought you, where are you now, is what I'm...
Oh, they were going to take me to the they were going to give me a room in the Skimmerhorn. But my case manager looked at me and she said, how would you like to live in Chelsea? I said, really? She said, I think you'd feel more comfortable there. I said, of course I would. So she took me, and I looked, and I said, this is where it's at, boo. This is it. Signed the papers, took it, and they gave me the keys. I went, now mind you, this is like a year or two. I haven't unpacked whatever little stuff I had. And for a year or two, I was like, this is not real. Right. Because I'm Enrique and I'm from the street and I'm going to say what I want to say and I want to do what I want to do. And I don't want to hear your mouth. Leave me the hell alone. And I was walking one day and it was starting to rain. And I'm like this and I'm like, let me get to my house. But I'm seeing people smoking cigarettes on the scaffolds and begging for money. And I stop and I light a cigarette and I look at all these people. And I said, wow, I ain't gotta sleep here today, boo. I said, yo, boo-boo, take a pack of cigarettes. You need money. You want something to eat? But I ran to my house and I looked and I told the security guy, hey. And the security guy looked at me because I'm very and I just walked by. But today I was really happy, you know? And they were like, are you okay? I was like, I'm just fine. And I ran to the case manager that I had then. And I was like, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. She looked at me too. And everybody was just looking at me like I was crazy. I was, what's wrong? Because I wasn't opening up to anybody. And I got to my room and I opened it. And the TV was on. And the air conditioner was blowing. And the ceiling fan. And I'm looking at Kat. Sat down and I'm with the remote control. I open my refrigerator and I take out a frozen pizza, put it, and I light a cigarette and I look around and I just sat down in the bed and I just started crying. I said, I'm here.
You're here.
And I'm queer.
We're here and we are queer.
And I'm going to stay.
We're here and we are queer.
You got what I'm saying? And it's...
Our thank you.
The case managers that I had, I never was able to know any of them. They did what they could for me. One of them got me my SSI, helped me. But there's one case manager that she's not here now. She's amazing.
She's graduating today.
She's graduating today, so as I'm talking, she's probably walking across the street. Julia Hall, she's an amazing woman. So she's a case manager / social worker now. She's an awesome chick. I have slammed the door in her face, cursed her out, threw things on the floor, and she stood there and she said, "It's gonna be all right, baby. I'll call you tomorrow." Her, Tabitha Gronick, I forget his name. I forgot his name.
It's okay.
The director of CUCS. Wow, I forgot.
No, you're doing great.
Anyway, the director of CUCS, and he's going to curse me out for that one.
All right.
And there's one other person I want to say thank you to, and that's Stephen Vega, because he's been there digging. He dug through the garbage cans with me, and he had my back through the whole thing for 10 and a half years. I love you. I love you with all my heart and soul. That's my best friend right there. And thank you.
Thank you. You did it.
They're standing up.